Job Vlog.
Okay, so the AAF, that's the Alliance of American Football, kicked off their season, about a week ago, and this was something that turned out to be something of a sleeper hit, which is hard to do with television these days. This was something that I had only barely known of the league existing. In fact, the most recent press this league got was the fired coach of the Bengals committing to do commentary for them. Like, I had, what? Are they going to be on TV? That was my initial thought. And evidently they are. They have a deal with CBS, and the first game of the inaugural season was televised on CBS. And each week they're going to have a game on CBS Sports, which, if you haven't heard of it, it's like third string behind ESPN, then Fox Sports, and then CBS Sports. Does NBC have a sports? There's a golf channel too. Where does it all rank? Well, look, I'm not sold on this. They took the foot out of football completely. There's no kicking. Everything, you go for two. I don't believe they have kickoffs. I didn't watch it. I saw some highlights where they have some serious hits and the flags are not being thrown. Quarterbacks are allowed to be roughed up. These guys are making about $70,000 a year or season, and when you're doing a physical sport with actual punishment, that is not enough money. That is the model of you telling your kid to work smarter, not harder. That's what that is. Well, the first game tied an NBA Game of the Week. Not incredibly hard to do, as I recently point out, NBA regular season is ass. But there's other issues here. Besides maybe offering an entertaining product, you have central ownership in the league. What does that mean? It means that the guy who owns the league owns all of the teams. Why is this a bad thing? Well, let's look at the XFL and compare it to the NFL. In the NFL, the team owners collectively anoint the league commissioner. And though the league commissioner can punish league owners, it's not as though the commissioner owns the league. It's a guy drawing a paycheck, granted a large one. Now, who is in charge of the AAF? Well, it's a spoiled rich kid whose dad was co-founder, Dick Ebersol, co-founded the XFL with Vince McMahon, and 2 years ago made a documentary called This Was the XFL. And he's like, well, I'm a spoiled rich kid. I get to play documentary filmmaker. I have this little sports doc go over on ESPN, part of the 30 for 30, which aren't we about to get to 40 for 40 at this point? It's supposed to be 30 films celebrating 30 years ESPN, and now we're heading into aren't we on year 40 at this point? Didn't it start in 79, 78? Yeah, something like that, right? 40 for 40. The things keep going. Point I'm getting at here is, wasn't he supposed to have learned the lesson of the XFL? And I think this is one of those lessons. When you have no ownership of the teams, you have no financial incentive for any team to better itself. These teams are not really playing for anything. I guess they're putting on football games with very little intention of winning. Surely there's some kind of bonus package in place for players that win the championship game. Surely. Beyond that, what is there in the coaches? What is there to cut a deal with the cities? I don't understand the whole structure here. Is there enough money to go around? Colin Kaepernick was approached to play in the AAF, and he turned it down. He wanted at least $20 million. From my understanding of it, the collective league salary is $28 million. This makes Colin Kaepernick a douchebag. He is not interested in playing pro football ever again. He was on the way out. He was being benched for Blaine Gabbert and decided, look, this benching is bad. I'm going to make a scene of this. I've got an idea. I'm going to grow the afro out and quit doing the braid stuff, and I'm going to take a knee, protest the national anthem. That'll get some attention. And it worked. He was able to use that as his excuse for getting kicked off the 49ers and effectively being out of the NFL. Now, who wants him back? Only these people who have been twisted into this narrative that he's a champion of social justice. There was a sporting goods store in Colorado who recently had to close doors. They quit selling Nike apparel in protest to the Colin Kaepernick move. As you know, Kaepernick is some kind of, I don't know, figure voice something at Nike. He has a sponsorship deal for not playing sports. So it's like lifestyle brand, I guess. Well, they didn't like it. They didn't like him being promoted up like this. And, you know, a few people cut out the swoosh on their Nikes or burned them, stuff like that, right? Well, they've gone out of business, and they think it could be because they got rid of Nike. I don't think that's entirely the case. Lots of places are going out of business because brick and mortar that specialize in a niche product cannot withstand Amazon. Payless Shoes goes out of business. It's not because they never had Nike. That's not how that works. Hell, if the store had doubled down on Adidas and actually had day one Yeezy Boost, they might have had a chance. It's being twisted, guys. The media wants you to think that Kaepernick would be winning a Super Bowl right now if he was allowed to be in the NFL. He's not good enough to be in the NFL. Hell, he might barely be good enough to be in the AAF.
Like, comment, share, follow, subscribe. Vaughan Jog Vlog is made possible by your support on Patreon. Patreon.com/Vaughan Fry. Because Google.